Traders Brian here with A+ Setups. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, in A+ Setups, we've got a lot of things going on, a lot of really neat stuff, and I wanted to take some time and start up a regular YouTube video series a few times a week just to keep everyone caught up on what we've got going. It's been a while since I've made a video because we've been trying to lay the groundwork inside of our research and trading service. So let's go ahead and break down some of the key things that we're doing inside of the room. Now the first thing is inside of A+ Setups, we kind of have a mantra of find one, learn one, trade one. And we're talking about a setup. Find something. I'll be the first to tell you that it all works. As long as you do the homework and get the statistics, isolate the setups that produce those, of course, the A+ setup, but you got to do the work on those things. We've done a lot of that work for you. So we have 4 primary setups that have directional edge. I hand collect the data every single night. I've been doing so for years on each of the setups that I've categorized. So I'd like to show you those things, how well they've been performing, and we'll just take a look at today, for example. And then, like I said, we're going to do this a couple of times a week. Just to keep everyone abreast. But we have some really, really neat tools and really neat setups that we've developed inside of the room. Now, first off is we're going to talk about our star performer. It's the Jiggle. Today, the Jiggle went 9-1, had 9 wins, 1 loss. So this is just a look at what we have developed. Charts are courtesy of NinjaTrader, and we have these templates here that mark where the entries are, for the setup. We have the green bars for bullish, telling you, hey, there might be a jiggle taking place right here. It's one of the simplest setups that I have. I've discovered this, observed this pattern about 3 years ago, and it's just been working like gangbusters ever since. It's just very simple, very easy. See, and I'm only trading with one line right here. That's it. I do this even though I have 4 primary setups. I trade this in my primary accounts in the prop firms with NASDAQ futures. So anyway, we have these set up in NinjaTrader and Markers Plus templates, but you can see here the code is built in. Let's go back to the beginning of the day. I think I was there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in a row before we hit the first loser. I don't know, could you make some money with something like this as a scalper? It's primarily what we're doing. Then we have the 1 loser, and we've got 1. And this one's after hours, so we don't, these 2 are after hours, so I don't count those in my statistics. So I have full statistical profiles inside of our room for all of our subscribers. So anyway, this is the Jiggle. This is the beast that's just been, when I say it's outperforming the other setups that we have, we're talking like 1.5% to 2%. I have thousands and thousands and thousands of these observations. 1.5% better when you're talking about this thing that's rough. The Jiggle's roughly 82+% win rate. 1.5% makes a big difference every 1,000 trades when we're talking those numbers right there. Now, where's the statistical sweet spot? Well, we've got that built in too on the indicators, so we can just come down right here and we could find let's go to the Jiggle. Let's get there first. Let's roll down here and find the take profit. Here we go. So let's turn it on. So this is going to show you the statistical sweet spot after thousands of trades of where this thing performs the best. Stop loss here, take profit on the first contract is there. These are all identified in ticks, backed by statistics. Okay, this is the Jiggle. Really simple thing, and I use it every single day. All right, number 2 is the 108 EMA setup template. Again, this is all in NinjaTrader and Markers Plus. And what do we have today? We had 8 wins, 1 loss. You know, I'm not going to go back through the whole sequence here just to show you some of the, this is pre-market. Excuse me. But you can see here everything's marked. I mean, you could just study these setups on what triggers them, you know, simply by turning the signals on. Now, what are the other signals? We have an arrow, we have a dot, and we have a square. All right, so we have these things filtered, options with filters. So the arrows here are just simply the raw signals. Excuse me. The arrows are the basic signals. The dots represent a filter. The squares represent a filter. You know, all that's included in the comprehensive manual we have for each of these setups. But we have these things so that you can determine whether or not you want to wait until these signals are filtered before you take them. See, here you just have an arrow and a square. Here you have an arrow, a dot, a square, and a triangle. It just shows you there's different filtering for these. So that's the 108 EMA setup. Here we have the first pocket. So this trade right here it's really simple, just 2 components. This oscillator with thresholds and a panel right here that we've created. It's a derivative moving average. So and you can see it's loaded with signals as well. Same statistical profile for everything that we have. How did this do today? It was 2-0. We had a trade here. Again, black line is the take profit for the first contract. You're trading multiples. You're trying to get into a position where you can hold a runner. So we're primarily scalpers, so I want to know where that sweet spot is right off the bat, and then where we can position ourselves to try to get runners. So that was trade 1. Here was trade 2. And that's all the trades the pocket trade provided for us today, but 2-0, and that's it. You know, for myself, my personal accounts, I just want one good trade. That's all, and then I switch over to other things. All right, let's take a look at the final of our 4 primary setups, and it's the reverse mullet. So the reverse mullet was it was 6-0 today. This is a little deeper pullback. So we have a variety of pullback categories in our setups. You could trade these as a portfolio, but I prefer just focusing on one. So we can combine a couple of these setups that kind of complement each other if you want to, but I just trade the jiggle. It's just powerful, simple, and the statistics are behind it. So today we had 6 wins here with the reverse mullet. You can see everything's color coded. The green tell you, hey, we might be if we get an up close here, you know, we could go ahead and take this close, and there we get it. Get to the sweet spot. Don't get much more than that, but that's okay. It's what we're trying. Here's red bars telling you there might be a short, and sure enough, we get closed down. There's the sweet spot, and there's that essentially no heat. Now we're excuse me, we're using Ninja bars here. I use that trading the NASDAQ scalping because of the symmetry of everything. The symmetry of these things really helps develop smooth, statistically backed setups with directional edge. And I've been using ever since I found them. I've switched over to these for scalping. But you can see here we got the arrow, the dot, and the square. Here you just have the arrow, dot, and a diamond. So different filters are working. Here you have the quad stack, the arrow, dot, square, diamond, triangle. All four filters, well, the basic signal and three filters are in alignment for this setup right here. So and down she goes. So here's just one with a basic signal lined up. Another quad stack, and off she goes. And that was it. Yeah, 6-0 for the reverse mullet today. Really good strategy. Now, again, those are our four primary scalping strategies for the NQ. They work on everything. You could use them on, you could use the jiggle, reverse mullet, on anything. The YM, the Russell, the ES, any of those things. Crude, gold, it all works. But I just have statistics on these setups for the NASDAQ. Like I said, I'm collecting everything by hand, so it's quite a bit of work for simply the one market, but they do work for everything. Now, another one of our tools, something I'm really proud of, and I've got to give hats off to my chief programmer for NinjaTrader, Richard from Australia. He has taken things I've used in Thinkorswim for a decade or more, and been able to convert those things over into NinjaTrader, and this is one of them right here. We'll look at this chart. This has my levels for the ES on there. I do trade the ES every day. I just didn't have any trades in it today. We just knocked it out of the park in the NQ. But here's the, and we knocked it out of the park in a couple other markets we're going to talk about as well. But here is what I call the bottom picker. I have used this in options trading for over 10 years, and it is just one of the best tools I've ever used. We use this on time-based bars. Over here were Ninjarenko bars, but for this I'm using time-based bars. And I have we have a market analyzer set up here where it will turn green, lime green and dark green whenever this white line gets below the red, and whenever the white line gets below the red, and this negative 150 right here. So what this does simply, it just tells me whenever the horizontal bar here turns green, just means the white line's under the red. You've got an overstretched market to the downside. And what I've used for years is I use what I call the drill down technique. So I'll wait on this time frame to get the signal, and then I'll just drill down to maybe like the 2-minute time frame. And once we're in here, I'll put a position on there. I'll add in this area right here once I get the green bars. The green bars is another component, green red bars. It's what I call the GHL bar coloring, and of course this is the bottom picker itself. So I use a drill down technique to get into those, and for day trades I watch the 5 and 10 minute time frame, and then for options trading I'm watching the daily, the 4 hour, and the 1 hour for all of my options trades. I'm going to show you that in a second. But anyway, what did we do today with this? Well, I started the morning out. Back here, I had buy stops in right here on bean futures on ZS, and we got a nice pop. Had a nice bottom picker. I waited for the green. I just put a buy stop in up here, and I did not ride the whole thing out. I came out right up here after we closed up, after we opened and ran up into that high. So I took my profits right there. Bitcoin, we had a really nice run up this morning. I bought my initial tranche. We were in here. I bought initial tranche there. I gave this a wide girth. I waited for the second, and then I added up in here, and we actually came out right in this meaty area right here. So we added multiple contracts initially, multiple in here for Bitcoin futures, and had a really nice trade there. And then we did options on crude. I've entered first tranche here, and once I recognized that the time frame in control was the next higher time frame, so that would have been a 10-minute, I waited and added my last tranche of calls down in this area, and then we popped those off up on this bar for a really nice trade in crude options. So that's a lot of the stuff going on in the room right now, and it's really exciting. We're starting to introduce options to the room and pairs trading. So I start options training tomorrow night. Wednesday night is when we start our options training program. We're trying to get everybody up to speed for what I call the easy money time frames, which is usually once or twice a year, and we may have another one of those coming up in the fall. Listen, I appreciate you watching the video up to this point. If you stayed with me, we've got a lot going on in A+ Setups room. If you're interested in this, I've got all the links below. Just check it out, and if any of this looks interesting to you, I can guarantee you nobody will work harder to try to get you into a position where you can focus and specialize on one thing, but you can apply it to multiple asset classes. And that's kind of what we're doing in the room. One setup in the NASDAQ, we do one thing with the bottom picker on time-based bars, and we're using the same thing in the options realm also. So anyway, hey, thanks for watching the video. I'll make more of these. I'll try to make the videos better, but I'm just all about the content, showing you what we actually have. So anyway, good luck in all your trading. This is Brian signing off.